Okay, we should be recording now. Let's see if my computer explodes.
He cut
I,
off. Does that mean he exploded?
It
I,
might be.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are still here.
All right. Thank God. All right. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. My name's Rich. If you haven't guessed already, I'll be your GM for the evening. I'm going to be introducing you all into the world of the Silver Dawn Academy. In our last session, in our inaugural session, the characters had to undergo a trial to be accepted into the Silver Dawn Academy. Our three player characters banded together and created a raft in order to get back to the man-made island. And they succeeded, but at a great cost. Their friend Joe was captured by robot sharks and pulled into the briny depths. He's all right, but it was a little freaky.
A
Rip
common
Joe.
problem traveling across the oceans is giant robot sharks. We should have been more careful.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate, honestly. Should have seen it coming.
Yeah. After that game was over, I had a moment where I was like, son of a bitch. I had an opportunity to use the robot sharks from Junji Ito, and it makes sense in context, but oh well. Next time.
Next time there's giant robot sharks. Next time.
But moving on, we're picking up a week later as the freshmen arrive to the man-made island of the Silver Dawn Academy off of the coast of the man-made larger island of shoot, how do you pronounce this? Kamari Kendam. I'm gonna wait. I'm going to pronounce this stupid island correctly at least once in this campaign.
One day.
One day. Good grief.
Make sure it's the last time you pronounce it.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and describe our player characters as they get off the boat and walk up to the... oh, hang on, I should probably move you guys over to the map so you can see what I see. Yeah, there we go. As I say, get off the boat and walk on to the island. And we are going to go left to right as you appear on my screen. So, Cody, why don't you tell us a little bit about Gabriel?
Gabriel, who sadly isn't known as Barricade yet because he hasn't gotten to pick a hero name, but that's what he will be called. Rest assured, is a very confident, very friendly person, standing very tall at 6'5". He is constantly trying to make friends, talking with people, shaking hands, and just being a glowing light of personality and friendship to everyone around him. He's very loud about it, of course, which he's loud. All the same, he gets off the dock like a bag over one shoulder. He isn't really like one hand in his other pocket, talking to people while he walks. Not really sure how exactly he feels about being on a smaller island next to a larger island because he can't drive his motorcycle between them, which is a real shame. But he's very happy to be here, and he'll gladly tell that to everyone he sees.
Right on, man. He definitely gives off like cool jock vibes. I think.
Yeah, sort of. He has a little bit of intelligence behind what he does and that sort of thing, but he is.
Oh no, I didn't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah, no. I mean, he seems very controlled in what he does, like himself, but he also just seems too loud to care.
Fair enough, man. Sounds good.
He does things his own way.
Okay, yeah. So I imagine he gets off the dock and he's like surrounded by a gaggle of people, all chatting and big smiles as they make their way over into the towards off the dock towards the center of the island. Uh, Next, Izzy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Sydney and his sad, sad backstory?
Hey.
I'm messing with you.
Yeah. Sydney is more than anything else the polar opposite of Gabriel. He stands at a short 5'6". Well, I guess that's average more than anything else, but he's not tall by any means. Fairly quiet, wears neutral to dark colors. He's constantly seen flipping some sort of golden worn coin as he comes off the dock, or comes onto the dock with I guess a satchel bag. He doesn't seem to want to talk to any people. He seems very aloof and, if anything, a bit avoidant of people. If he sees Gabriel going anywhere near him, tries to get away. Emphasis on tries.
And yet Gabriel talks to him anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for the viewers at home who haven't seen the last episode, and for the new players, they have a history together, don't they?
A little bit, yeah.
That's one word to call it.
So Gabriel is trained in a couple of martial arts, and Sydney ended up showing up at one of those dojos that Gabriel trained at during his time moving around. And so they know each other briefly because they were sparring partners, because they were the only two, due to their quirks sort of canceling each other out to a degree, that could spar against each other safely.
Right on. So I imagine Sydney just sort of hunched over as he slinks towards the.
Maybe not hunched over, but certainly not like standing tall.
Gotcha. Okay.
If he had a hood, he'd have it on.
Okay. True story. When I was in high school, I knew a guy who always wore a Death Note hoodie, regardless of the heat or the weather. He'd always wear that same Death Note hoodie every single day.
Dedicated.
Yeah, and I honestly don't get it. I was like, dude, they make Death Note t-shirts, I mean, whatever. Anyway. All right, and following Sydney, we have a Japanese girl by the name of Mai Sato, and I think Matt's going to tell us a little bit about Miss Mai Sato, isn't he?
Yes. I will be playing. If I can remember how to pronounce it correctly, I think it's Mei Saito.
Oh, my bad.
I will double check that just to be sure.
Hey, it's your character, man. If you want to pronounce the M as a Z, that's your prerogative, man.
Anyway, I'll be playing Mei Saito, whose working hero name is currently set to be Gadget when she graduates. She's about average height. She's 5'8", and she sort of like flips between looking very enthusiastically at metal, machinery, and electronics, and looking absolutely terrified when people try to talk to her most of the time. She tries to distance herself from other people, and is dragging around a very large suitcase, which seems to be filled with various metal and electronic components. And everywhere around her there's a slight pink glow glittering in the air.
Right on. And it's also important that when you use your technopathy, you talk to machines like a crazy person, right?
Yep.
Right. I just wanted to lay that out because I love that about your character. Okay. So she comes off the boat. Is Sword and Shieldbach carrying your bags?
No. Sword and shield are currently disassembled.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, you walk on into the Silver Dawn Academy Island, or Silver Island, as I'm going to call it from now on because that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And after that, she is followed by Thomas's character. Thomas, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm glad to hear that, man. We haven't really gotten much of a chance to talk, so I'm really looking forward to hearing about Jester or whatever his real name is.
Oh, me too, because I made him last night. Gonna be exciting. Yeah, so I don't have him before this, but there's Jester, and I assume he's coming off the boat too.
Right on. What does he look like?
Oh, awesome! He is a short fellow, 5'1", pretty scrawny, wearing just a lot of colors going on. Got a weird. He's just loud and outgoing. Got his purple hair, purple eyes, and he's just cracking wise and just being annoying to everyone, and it's fantastic.
Right on. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Before I looked at your character sheet, I was imagining him dressed like your avatar in Roll20, and it is quite different from the pick you chose for Chester. I like it. I like it.
You can actually change what your avatar looks like by clicking on what is it in the bottom right, the name, and selecting your
Yeah, next
character
to as,
from
if
all.
you select your character
I-
from as.
Oh no, I didn't mean that was a problem. I was just
Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm just letting people know in case they want to show up as their character.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I will close my mouth then. Hey. There you go. All right. So yeah, he's a boisterous young man who's constantly making jokes and stuff. That about sums up Gesture, yeah?
Yeah, just pure energy.
Absolutely. I'm imagining like a kid whose parents are maybe not maybe a little negligent. You know, maybe give him a little too much caffeine, a little too much sugar. Would you say that's accurate, or am I way off the mark there?
What I have right now is that his parents are wealthy and they don't like him very much.
Tried to send him
Okay.
a cloud
He's just what is it? Unsupervised.
Gotcha. A little bit of okay. All right. Sounds
And all
good.
you people rich, and Gabe's over here.
call.
I think this is gonna be like team parental issues and Gabe.
And
Gabe.
You know how it's like
Hey.
Spider-Man and Friends? Only
Yeah.
now it's gonna be the Friends and Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Friend. Nice.
Hey, Gabe doesn't get top billing. He doesn't have parental issues.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Jester comes off the boat. Smiling and cracking jokes, and he's followed finally by Piper. So, Miss Robin, why don't you tell us a little bit about Piper?
Well, Piper, she's not being antisocial, but she's not going out of her way to make friends. She's got this very curly brown hair that appears to be more of a mass than anything else. She's wearing a very old and somewhat ratty zip-up hoodie, and she's got a t-shirt on that looks like, basically it says Camp Crystal Lake, and it looks like those t-shirts you get at summer camps. I'm assuming Friday the 13th is a movie in this universe.
Right on.
If it
Sounds
isn't,
good.
it's a very nice camp.
Important question. When we were talking in PMs earlier, you mentioned interest in doing telepathy, telekinesis. Did you stick with that, or did you decide to go a different route?
Yeah, I stuck with that.
Right on. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So you're our Jean Grey as you come off into the dock and into the island.
Yeah, pretty much, but with less controllable hair.
Excellent. Hang on just a second. This, Okay, there we go. All right. All right, so the five of you and your peers are all milling around the dock area when a large built bearded man approaches and gives you a big old wave. One student who's the closest to him, he like gives a big bear hug to. He's like, "Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Sampson. I'm going to be your one of your teachers this year, and I'm here today to give you a tour of the island."
Nice to meet you, Mr. Sampson. How you doing?
Fantastic. And he like gives you the really complicated handshake, which you obviously know all the moves to.
If he doesn't, he definitely improvises, and it works great.
Absolutely. All right, kids. Let's go ahead and make the rounds. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
Oh,
Great.
come on, don't be so down, Sid. This will be great.
Hey, Gabriel.
All right. Well, first up on our right here, we have the Welcome Center. And you see this large building which has, these gigantic holes in it. And, a lot of like timber and bricks and stuff laying around outside of it in neat piles. You can see construction workers in there, working on it. And he's like, it recently had a little bit of an incident on the island, and a lot of the buildings are still under construction and repair. But when this bad boy gets fully functional, it's going to serve as our welcome center and the cafeteria.
Sid sort of like raises a hand from the back as they're like walking.
Yes, young man.
If the cafeteria is broken, he says he like looks over the holes and general destruction. Where are we supposed to eat?
Oh, well, your dormitories have a kitchen,
Nice.
and we will be providing you with a little bit of food. Or, well, food, yeah.
Jester's gonna raise his hand.
Yes, Jester. Friend. Young man.
Yeah, why does school need a welcome center?
That is a very long and interesting story, but not for now.
Time?
I don't.
You haven't been to very many high-profile schools, have you?
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of them on the island should have them, right? Because this is where the people who are trying to recruit new people or post internships would have to put anything, eh? Not to mention, new students when it's not blown up. Must have been a hell of a welcome party, right?
Yeah, what made all these holes?
Well, I guess, the principal was going to address this in his welcome back speech, but I guess just go ahead and address it right now so you guys don't hear any false, crazy rumors or whatever. And he kind of rolls his eyes. Our island was attacked by a disgruntled former employee who bore us ill will, and no one was seriously hurt. They have the man locked up in custody now. His name is being withheld right now, but rest assured, I'm sure you're going to be seeing it on the news before too long. But yeah, that's the story with that.
Fair enough.
Was he hot?
No comment.
I bet he was hot.
Mm,
I mean, to make holes in that building, probably had some sort of blasting power. Maybe it was
Yeah.
fire-based.
yeah, fire's usually pretty hot.
All right, moving on then.
Gabe's chuckling to himself, by the way.
We all are. Next stop is over here. This is the Kirby Memorial Building, after Dr. Kirby. It's a lot of classes are held here, as well as a lot of experiments and things like that. It's also under construction. You notice that there's an entire wall missing from this building, but work seems like this place isn't as high priority as the Welcome Center / cafeteria down there. But work is still progressing here, all the same.
What kind of experiments?
Oh, experiments with powers and, testing out new equipment to help enhance your quirks and your abilities.
Is there a combat room in there?
Currently, it is damaged and inoperable.
I mean, there's a big field.
But yes, there is a combat room in there. Hopefully we should have it up and running within the next few months, but don't quote me on that.
All right.
Python quite raises her hand a little nervously.
Yes, ma'am.
Is holding classes in the same place where you're experimenting with new equipment a good idea? I mean, what safety procedures do you have to avoid seriously injuring people?
That is an excellent question. And the only response I have is that we do the experiments in the basement where we, is heavily reinforced with, metal and stuff to make it, difficult to blast out and kill people.
That
I don't think it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Sampson's like, you'd be amazed at the lack of casualties that we've had at this school. Just absolutely amazing. You'd think there'd be hundreds, but no, it's remarkably low.
Wait.
Are there casualties?
Are we supposed to expect people to die here? Hold
Moving
on.
right along, this is the...
Wait,
Hey, don't worry about it. I heard Six Star doesn't even have an infirmary.
that doesn't...
Oh, I should probably mention the infirmary's also under construction right now. Fortunately, we each of the dorms should have a packet of bandages and Neosporin, so you should be all right.
Yeah, seem perfectly safe.
I feel safer already.
Hey, look, come on. If you're in trouble, just let me know. I'll back you up. No problem.
I feel like if you're involved, I'm probably already in trouble.
Look, we're trying to be heroes, right? Danger's kind of part of the job.
I mean, yes.
All right, and here's where most of your classes will be at. And you guys weren't sure what to expect, but you probably weren't expecting it to look like this. Very classically inspired. Lots of columns, fountain out front. I should probably draw that fountain on the map at some point. Yeah. But yeah. And he's like, yeah.
Is this why tuition's so high?
Yes.
Yeah, that checks out.
That, and we're constantly having to rebuild stuff.
How does this one not damage?
We stopped him before he got here.
Where's the...
I think
Okay.
we're going to be designed to take damage instead of looking fancy.
That's what the other buildings are for.
Hey, how if that's the case, why is the... Never mind, he doesn't know where the freshman doors are.
Well, I mean, you probably don't know which one's the freshman dorms, but it's pretty easy to guess which ones are the dorms,
Then I guess he would say, why are the dorms also pretty close to the front?
Well, I mean,
Presumably, anyways.
Well, hang on. Could you repeat the question? I don't think I heard you too well.
Oh yeah, sure. If the buildings in front are to be shields for the buildings in the back, why are the dorms near the front?
So
Who
we
said
can
it was
remember.
Who said they were shields?
Was that Jester?
Oh no, Sid. It was a joke about how the other buildings were like they're built to
Oh,
take
yeah.
damage. This is just a school building, man.
No, like I got that. That was continuing.
I mean, I don't think the welcome center and cafeteria was meant to take damage, but here we are.
I mean, assumably.
Hey, Mr. Sampson, is that building supposed to get blown up?
No comment. Moving right
Wait.
along.
Well, that's not the answer I was expecting, but
Do
I'll
you
take
really
it.
work here?
He laughs at that. Come on, kids, let's go. And
That's
the
not
Not a
a
yes.
and the last stop on our tour is the dormitories. The one to my right is the senior dorms. The one right in front of me is the junior dorms. And the last one down here is the freshman dorms, where you all will, of course, be staying.
I have another question.
Yes.
Are we allowed to walk in the grass?
Yes.
Okay, because I see there's no easy path here. Kind of roundabout going on.
Yeah, it's almost like the guy designing the place, ran out of room and had to rearrange things and didn't think about rearranging the roads while he was at it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Maybe if the dorms did get destroyed, they could have repositioned them.
Yep.
Maybe put them closer. It's like a long walk. Maybe is this like a track? Are we supposed to use this for like track and field, but just running around the? Never mind.
It sounds like a good workout. You in, Sid?
Don't
No.
don't spoil the future episodes. Shh.
Mr. Sampson, what do you teach here anyway?
Art.
That
Nice.
checks out.
Heroic art?
Heroic art.
How heroic is art?
No, all
Hey.
those statues of people.
Exactly. Sign up for my classes, you'll see, man.
I guess maybe it's signing costumes too.
Maybe beard modeling.
Hang on a sec. I just realized I neglected to hand out hero points.
What are these?
Probably not important for today's session, but I want to get into the habit of doing it. It's hero points, so this way it's easy for me to tell who has the hero points and not.
Fair enough.
Hero points can be used to re-roll, edit a scene, and other things, so long as the GM agrees to it.
Are these accepted at the cafeteria?
You know what? If you want to spend a hero point to get free food at the cafeteria, absolutely, dude.
So I don't know
Also-
what else you'd be spending, but okay.
Yeah. Also, Sydney Izzy, I'm gonna give you an extra one because I was listening to or re-listening to the session from last week, and I realized that when y'all were fighting those robot sharks, you made a really great hammerhead shark pun, and it completely went over my head. So I'm just gonna retroactively give you a hero point.
Thank you kindly.
Right on. And Mr. Sampson says, "All right, and now comes the part where we you guys get your rooms, and for the first time ever, we're letting our freshmen pick their own rooms. So, you guys get to
Sid like
pick.
raises his hand.
Yes.
Can I pick my room to not have someone else in it? Specific people.
No.
Look, okay.
You're going to be sharing your
Oh,
room.
man.
Hang on a sec. I'm going to pull up a picture.
Where's your room, Mr. Sampson?
Well, my room is you see that little island off in the distance?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. It's behind the main academy. You wouldn't be able to see it from here. The teachers stay on that island. Although some of them, they stay on the mainland and come out here.
Disgusting. Travel. Blech. That's fair
Well,
enough.
I thought I had a picture of the layout of the rooms, but apparently I don't. Basically, what it is that each of you has your own little mini room that goes into like a shared living room sort of area. So you technically you sort of have your own room, but you're going to be sharing the area with another person of the same sex. Yeah.
What's the bathroom situation?
You're going to be sharing a bathroom and like a little kitchen area as well.
Is it like a shower or like a full tub? Because what if I want to soak?
You know
Well, I
what? You're
mean-
just going to have to get a room and find out, man.
I mean, you ever think maybe you could just go outside? We are in the middle of the ocean.
This is true. You could soak in the water. Just be aware of
Giant robot
robotic
sharks?
harpoon sharks that drag
Yeah.
you under water.
And
Oh,
also
salt water is bad for my complexion.
You
All right, so we start the session going left to right. Now we're going to go right to left. All right, so Robin, would you mind telling me if Piper wants to bunk up with another player character, or if she would rather, just sort of take luck of the draw and see what NPC she winds up with?
I really don't mind, but let's just say I'll bunk up with a May, if that's okay, or another player character.
That's fine.
Right on. All right, Jester, you're up next, home dog.
I would like to bunk with like the darkest, gloomiest person.
Oh
So
no!
Sydney-
All right. You know what? I'm giving you a hero point for that.
Oh no! I feel like you can sense it with like the lack of the direction of Sydney.
See, Jester's extremely bright, colorful, joking. Sydney's extremely dark, brooding, and avoiding people. It's... I get
Hey,
it.
Single
there
him out
could
by
be
the fact that
someone
he's not here.
darker among the NPCs. We still
Could
haven't
be.
seen our main protagonist yet.
That's true. We still haven't met our main protagonist.
I mean, but Sydney does have blue hair.
Sydney does have blue hair. That's true. And is wearing a scarf over his mouth and nose. So
Yep. Not his nose, just his mouth.
And he
Rich,
constantly feels
among the NPCs,
alienated. Hmm?
Rare man who's sort of like standing apart from everyone, looking gloomily down.
Do you have spiky hair?
Well, let me see here. The other player or NPCs that I have created so far are a luchador, a character who I now realize is redundant with Matt's character, and I'm probably going to rework. Joe, who is no longer with us, but with us always in spirit.
Gorge.
and also probably on the main island, just hanging out.
Really gets like a day job at like the burger place.
Oh, dude, could you imagine him working at Big Bang Burger?
A character who's like Jester, only much less so. A kleptomaniac.
Mm.
A guy who doesn't know why he's here, but he's going to make the best of it.
Nice.
And a guy who, a young anime boy who tries really hard.
Yeah, so Sydney.
Wait.
No, not the young anime boy who tries really hard. I mean, the most gloomy person here.
Yeah. It's Sydney.
There you go. You cool with that, man, or do you want
I
to
mean,
roll the
honestly,
dice?
I'm fine with that. Sydney is not.
But Sydney doesn't have a choice.
He doesn't.
All right then. Well, that leaves Gabriel. Do you want to roll the dice with an NPC, or do you want to wait and hang out with Hasher? Because I think you've already talked with him with a little bit, and so you kind of know a little bit about
I
his
talked to him
character.
very briefly, but I know absolutely nothing about his character. Like nothing at all.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Well, the elevator pitch he gave me is that he can change stuff into glass and then control it. Didn't really say much about his personality, but
Well, if you look at the image he selected, he
Let's have
appears
a
to be
look.
white-haired Sydney without a scarf.
Well, definitely.
that's a thing. Yeah, make this happen, dude. This will be hilarious.
Do it.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Barricade isn't, if Gabriel isn't in the same room as Sydney, he needs to be in the room with the next gloomiest person.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh, hey, that raises an interesting question. Sydney, do you have younger siblings?
Sydney had an older brother who was the favorite.
Okay, so no younger siblings. So you're
He
going
was
into
the
this.
younger sibling.
So you're going into this completely unprepared. Excellent.
Poor guy.
He didn't know he was coming to the school until the dad said, "All right, you better accept this." Wait, what?
Right on. Okay. So everyone, breaks off and goes to their room and unpacks their stuff. And then after all that's done, it's time for supper. And Mr. Sampson cooks you all a fine meal of vegan sloppy joes. Just don't ask what's in it.
Can I have less vegan in my sloppy joe?
Well, you know what? I've got some cold bacon in the fridge from breakfast. If you want that, you're more than welcome
Dibs.
to it. All right,
Should
there you
wear
go.
a shirt while cooking?
Oh, don't be silly.
Wait.
He does have a hairnet for his beard, though. He's very health conscious.
I thought you were gonna say for his chest.
Does he have one for his chest?
For his chest too, sure.
I think that's just a net.
It's a
Just
fish
wearing a
net.
net.
It's a literal
Like, he has
fish
a hair net, a beard net, chest net. It's just like he could have just worn a shirt.
It's just a net.
I'm uncomfortable with the situation.
Also uncomfortable condition with hair.
I mean, look on the
and
bright side. If
vegan
we ever need to catch some fish, he has those.
All right, and after dinner, he invites everyone outside, and he says, "Okay, well, classes start tomorrow, but before then, I thought we could unwind and, maybe show each other our quirks and learn a little bit about each other with a fine game of baseball. And by baseball, I mean I'm throwing a ball at you, and I want you to deflect it using your quirk."
What if?
May's hand will shoot up.
Yes.
Can I get my stuff from my room?
Oh, your little yeah, absolutely. And hey, if you feel like this may endanger you, please let me know beforehand, and I'll adjust it accordingly.
How
All
hard
right,
can you
May
throw a
is
ball?
going to
I don't know,
sprint back to the dorms.
Okay, you sprint back to the dorms. You were wanting to know how hard he can throw his ball.
Yeah.
All right, young man. You see that hole in the welcome center over there?
Which one?
The big one above the window that like goes through the building.
It's a window.
Well, I mean, it's more of a window now.
Yes.
Okay, well that hole was there before the giant fight.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah, so here we are. All right, who's up first? And he tosses the ball up and down.
I want this.
But I want to go first.
First.
Okay. Well,
I was considering it, but Sid, if you're up, I'm like,
you with the blue hair, you're up first.
Yeah. So, question. If I send this back at you, will it endanger?
No.
Okay, throw it real hard.
All right.
Is he just like just
I'm sorry. What was that? You cut out a little bit there.
he just stands there as after like walking up and puts his hands in his pocket and waits.
Okay. Well, why don't let's just role play this out. He winds back, squints his eyes, and like just cannonball fires this thing at you. It's like a howitzer shot. What exactly does Sydney do to deal with this attack?
So Sydney does not move. He simply stands there as it rockets at him, assumably, like around like his chest.
Yeah, he's in it, aiming for center mass.
Okay. So the ball impacts him, and then there's some sort of like almost explosion as it fires right back at him at the same force as he absorbs that kinetic energy. Isn't really able to hold it, so he immediately reflects it in a sort of like compressed explosion to propel it, with like some sort of like there's a shockwave of force. You know how like heat waves are easy to be seen? It's kind of like a wave like that.
Right on, man. And it
Just
like
fires it straight back at him.
right, and it just like blasts out right back at him, and he like catches it, but like the impact sends him back a little bit.
And Sydney has not moved an inch.
And seeing this, Mr. Sampson gives you a big old grin. He's like, "Ah, well done, well done indeed. Take a seat, kid. That was fantastic."
Thank you. And he'll go over to the back and hide again.
Now, just a rough estimation about how hard did it look like he threw that ball?
Oh, he was going for it, man. This is
Yeah, like-
this is the real deal, man. This
I'm
is
just
hero
checking, like,
school.
Collapsing building hard, or
Like a
You don't think it'd like collapse a building, but like you feel like if this was a normal person, he'd at the very least have a few broken ribs,
oh yeah, okay, that's okay.
Okay.
Jester said he wanted to step forward, so I believe
Yeah,
Jester-
yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Sampson points towards you with the long purplish hair.
That feels racist.
Is it racist? Is that a
I
race?
have a name.
What's your name?
What is your name, son?
Yes, what's your name?
Sydney.
Mr. Sampson.
Oh, that's right. Oh, is it my turn now? He cartwheels into place right in front of Sydney. And he puts himself in a catcher position.
But I'm all the way back here. You're supposed to be
I know. But I'm in front of you and you're behind me. And don't worry about it.
I need an adult.
Over here, please, son. Out
No,
here,
just
away
throw
from
it.
the other people.
Fine. I can do this.
I know you can, but over here, please.
All right.
Thank you.
Glomy walks over and just stands there, hands in his pockets.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
He's using an illusion right now.
Okay.
Should probably
I-
find out first.
All right. So I'm going to, I'm going to say, since you didn't say anything, he's going to use the same strength as before. Why don't you describe what happens as the ball leaves Mr. Sampson's hands?
Yeah, so his illusion was to, I think, make himself invisible if he can, and then just have his illusion look like him and walk out there in front of you guys. So it would just pass right through him.
Gotcha. Is there any sort of, does it like blink or anything when the ball passes through him, or is he just completely there?
I don't know. That's up to you.
Oh, no, it's up to you, man. This is your character.
I feel like the ball would keep going at least.
The ball keeps going. The illusion
Right.
doesn't like its effect.
I'm just curious if there's like having something move through it affects the illusion at all.
No, there's no physical structure to it.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. Well, the ball just goes right through it. right past the Welcome Center, over the docks and into the sea.
Skips a while.
Yep.
I'll get it. Started running out after.
Will you get it, Thomas? Will you?
No.
No.
I love the sharks.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, he magically produces another baseball from his pocket. And he's like, "Well done, son. That was very entertaining."
I feel like you're
Alright.
placating me.
I am a little bit, honestly. I feel like you could have made yourself look like a catcher or an umpire. But, I mean, you get an A for effort, man.
My turn now, right?
Sure, if you want to go next.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Cool.
Don't die, Gabriel.
Come on, you know me better than that.
All right, full strength.
Yeah, that's what you got.
All right. He winds up and throws it. What happens?
Well, as it's flying at him, Gabriel's basically going to just like keep an eye on it and then go. He's basically already in his stance, and as it comes, he's going to try and set up for a kick on it just to see if he can hit it. Otherwise, it's just going to basically hit him in the face. But hey, he'll probably be fine. But he wants to try and kick it out of the air because he like an axe kick straight down into the ground just to test his strength against it.
Right on, man.
Which I will roll real quick just to see what happens.
I mean, you don't have to roll, but if you want to, go ahead.
Well, I gotta, because otherwise it's gonna hit him in the face, and then I get to describe something different.
Fair enough. Go for it.
All right. I'm gonna say that probably misses the ball itself, but still makes a pretty good crater in the ground. Basically, he kicks, and it like glances off the ball, which puts it into a side spin. His foot hits the ground, and the ball just hits him in the face, and he like leans back, and then just leans forward and puts the ball back in his hand and chucks it back. Oh, missed. Damn it.
Did you lose any teeth?
No, I'm good.
That was still a fine effort, son. Very impressive.
Well, I gotta work on my accuracy, you know? Can't be missing that sort of thing. Can we try again later?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Gives you a thumbs up.
At this point, May is going to come running back, followed by her shield bot. This is about the
Good
same
luck,
size as her, holding a large, glowing tower shield.
Bow and arrow.
Right on.
Sort of like suffusing the area around May and Shield with a very bright pink glow. And there seems to be a tether between May and the bot. And she's gonna run up to where the spot Gabriel is just vacating. Alright, I'm ready.
All right, then. Full strength. Here we go.
Maybe not that hard, but not that hard.
Okay. He tosses it underhand. What happens, Matt?
Alright, so Shield slides in front of May and sends the ball straight back at the professor. Whose name I don't remember.
Mr. Sampson.
Mr. Sampson. Alright. I'm gonna make a note of that so I remember.
Does
I
it
don't
like
think he's a
pitted fat?
professor.
He studied very hard to become a professor of art, and you should respect him for that.
You're not besting.
Just studied how to shave.
Wow.
That's why his name's Samson. His power comes from how long his beard is.
Yeah. The stronger, or the longer it is, the stronger it is.
Are we
You know
ready?
what? I hadn't thought of that, but that's canon now.
Awesome.
It's beardomancy.
All right. Matt, I didn't hear you. What'd you say happens?
Alright, so Shield slides in front of May and holds up the shield as the ball impacts on it and sends it directly back at Mr. Sampson.
Right on. And he, with a deft hand, he catches it. Excellent, excellent. What do you call those thingamajiggers?
Bots.
Bots.
His shield.
Shield. Excellent, excellent. Well, I think that'll be come quite in handy here in the next few weeks.
It feels like a threat.
Sounds like fun.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
And moving right along, we're going to see what Miss Piper can do here. Or is that the superhero name?
That's her real name. I have no
Okay.
idea what the superhero name. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
she
cool.
has a name.
Well, yeah. Do you have a name?
I think he said his name was Jester.
I was
well,
called
that's he-
that guy with the long purple hair.
I mean, that is a name.
All right,
I
Robin.
wasn't even called by
Tell us
name.
about what Piper's doing here.
Piper kind of carefully walks up and she takes off a hoodie and ties it around her waist as she does so. She eventually comes. She comes to a stop and then she just says, "Whenever you're ready."
Alrighty, you got it. He winds up and throws the ball right at you.
She doesn't seem to do anything except her hair begins to float, almost as if she's underwater. And, you know that weird effect hair tends to get. A few inches from her face, it just stops, and then it starts hurtling back towards him.
Excellent, excellent. And he catches it. Pretty nifty.
Thank you. And she just turns and walks back.
Awesome. And with that, you gotta see some of the NPCs do it for a while. There's this one guy who is wearing this weird head device. Who, when the teacher throws the ball at him, this beam comes out of his face and it just stops the ball in midair. There's another student who just sort of stands there, and when he throws the ball at it, the ball just shrinks and just disappears. There's other students who catch it. Some people avoid it. Some people, do some weird terraforming stuff to knock it out of the way. But all of you managed to avoid the ball with no problem. And
While this is going on,
Avoid is a
May
strong
is
word.
going to disassemble Shield and reform it into another bot I had an idea for called Cat's Cradle, which looks like if a spider was just made up of hands.
It's terrifying.
that's
So it's
horrifying.
like
Yeah.
a central body, and it's just like eight hands coming out of it. And we just sort of like form into a seat for her.
I don't like this.
All right then. That middle image is going to stay with me for a while. Ew. Okay, cool. That definitely happens. And as the last student, tosses the ball back to Mr. Sampson, the sun's going down, and he says, "Well, great job, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for the first day of classes." And that is where we're going to end it for tonight.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me stop the recording.